Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to NXT with Najee. This is episode 14, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. You already know what time it is, man. This episode will be covering the April 16th edition of NXT. Man, this last Tuesday was unbelievable. It was my first one back since WrestleMania weekend. Wow. To say the least, I had a blast and a half, y'all. Like, the energy was right where it was when I left. The atmosphere felt a little bit different, I can't lie. It was more like, what's next? We're all wondering what's getting ready to happen now that this new era has started. Now that the draft is literally a week away. There's so many different what-ifs, and this week really kind of kickstarts that whole entire thing. This is officially the end of the Trick Melo saga. Yes, we had the matches Stand and Deliver, but tonight's main event is that in a steel cage. So we get a part 2, but this time in a steel cage. It's wild. So, funny story for me, this was the week that I finally decided to document the process of getting to the Performance Center. And it's almost like they knew I was about to do this. Because WWE had a camera crew out there also documenting the process. If you guys watched the past week's episode, you'll see me in my NWO t-shirt right there front and center. Supporting, acting up, acting crazy the same way I always do. But we're officially 1 week away from spring breaking. It's going to be a 2-night event. I'm not sure if they're going to do it as a double taping or not. I will be there this Tuesday, but the following one I will not be at, the April 30th edition, due to some personal things that I will be attending. But man, tonight's card was packed. Every match was really, really good. There were also a lot of matches that took me by surprise. And there was one specifically that we'll get to that was a surprise that wasn't originally on the card that really felt like it showed us the future and some things that could possibly be happening for this roster and their future champions. But we're going to get started with match number 1. Match number 1 was Dijak versus Noam Dar. The crowd was wildly on Dijak's side the whole entire match. I don't know what happened in the last 2 weeks before WrestleMania. I don't know if maybe it's because he's made statements publicly on his Twitter that have made people resonate with him a little bit more, maybe become a fan of him a little bit more. The Cody comment specifically saying that he thinks that everybody's going to end up booing Cody, which I agree with. So maybe that drew in some more fans for him. There was a guy who had a brilliant sign that said Dijak, and right at the end of the K it had like a little circle where he could insert his face into it, and the guy looked just like Dijak. So it was really, really funny. Dijak even called it out on his Twitter, went and took a picture with the guy, talked to him afterwards. But believe it or not, with a little help from... Actually, I'm not going to say believe it or not. This shouldn't be surprising at all. Noam Dar picks up the win thanks to some help from Metaphor, specifically Oro. Yeah, I love that they're on a winning streak. This, for me, almost felt like a send-off for Dijak. There's a lot of speculation that he could be heading to the main roster in the draft, and I would truly support that. I think that his time has been well spent on NXT, and it's definitely his turn to really get out there and let the world see him again and see what he can do. He's a great guy. But winner of the first match, we got Noam Dar. All right, now, during this commercial break, like I said, I normally don't like to talk about promos and things like that, but this one was Ilya essentially putting an open challenge out for tonight. I'll get to that match in a little bit. It's a very interesting way that they handled that. So now we're moving on to Lola Vice versus Sol Ruka. Returning Sol Ruka. She's still healthy. I got to see her at a house show recently wrestle. She looks great. She really, really, really looks good. The knee looks healthy. She seems to be right where she was when she left. But we got Lola Vice taking the win via super kick to the face. And you know me, I always try to sit there and say, kick her in the face, Lola, you'll win every time. And guess what? She did it. She followed through. Also, big shout out to Lola Vice. Thank you so much for engaging with me on social media. That's cool. Like, it really feels good to be seen by some of your favorite people. So thank you. Big shout out to Lola Vice. After this match, Natalya pops in via video to challenge Lola on night 2 of Spring Breaking to an NXT Underground match. And Lola later on in the show says, "Just wait and see who you have in my corner, or who she has in her corner." So I'm curious. I honestly have no idea. I can't even take a guess right now, to be real with you. I imagine there's going to be a lot of really good young talent in Natalya's corner for that match. So it'll be a lot of fun. Next week at Spring Breaking Night 1, that would be the actual contract signing for that match. My money is somebody's going through a table, because that's always how it goes. But moving on to the next one. One more time, shout out to Lola. Lola is our winner for the second match of the night. Third match, we got Joaquin Wilde and Ridge Holland going against each other one-on-one. It's all stemmed off of another backstage thing, backstage promo. Ridge Holland wins this match via DDT. But for me, I'm wondering what this means for Ridge, because where do we go from here? 2 or 3 weeks ago, he was talking about he was retiring. He was walking away from in-ring action. He attacked Joe Gacy at Stand and Deliver. And I'm not sure what this means. Like, is he getting ready to join another faction? Does he go on a title run? Is he going to take on Oba? Does Big E come back? Granted, I know Big E can't come back because of his injury, but like, do they do a story with him? Is there something that gives Ridge more purpose? Because right now I'm just very confused as to what's getting ready to happen. But also, to add to the confusion, at the end of the match, Shawn Spears comes out and it's just smiling, nodding at Ridge. And what does this mean? What does that mean? If you guys have any ideas, any thoughts, please leave comments. I would love for y'all to leave comments. I would definitely enjoy to interact some more with you guys who are listening and be able to answer some of those questions. So if you guys have any to ask me, any thoughts, theories about what's going on with Ridge and Shawn Spears, please tap in, y'all. Tap in. So once again, Ridge Holland is the winner of our third match. Now we are to the point to where Ilya's open challenge happens. So now Ilya comes out, awesome entrance, awesome vibe from the crowd, as usual. There's nothing too surprising there. The whole entire locker room runs out to the ring. Believe it or not, they run out to the ring, all trying to get a piece of the champion. And from the crowd, jumping over the announce table, is Javon Evans, the hottest thing in NXT right now. This kid is an absolute superstar. Met him a bunch of times during Stand and Deliver weekend, WrestleMania weekend, and the kid is just a great guy, man. Happy belated birthday. I'm pretty sure he just turned 20 a couple days ago. But man, he comes out, shows out, gives Ilya a 5-star match. Personally, like, it was very quick, fast-paced. Javon shows why that boy bouncy, and Ilya shows why he is the champion. So with Ilya making sure that Javon really gets a chance to shine, he still walks away as your NXT champion, Ilya Dragunov. Ilya next week is going to be taking on Trick Williams for the title at night 1 of Spring Breaking. If Trick loses that match, he's gone. He can't be on NXT anymore. So we'll get into that a little bit later once we get to the Trick Melo match. But one more time, Ilya wins. Ilya wins. Now we're moving on to Tatum Paxley against Thea Hale. Equally weird individuals here, and we love it. The crowd loves it. The crowd was super into it. Man, we were torn. We love Thea. We love Tatum. We love all the energy they bring every single week. We love the characters, regardless of what wild, ignorant people like Dave Meltzer say. We love all of that. We really do. And that match lived up to what it should have been. Just, two weird wrestlers being weird. The weirdest woman walks away with the win. Personally, should have been Thea, but with the storyline she has going on with JC Jane and Jasmine Nix, of course they interfered. Of course they cost her the match. And that story continues. So we'll see what happens within the next coming weeks. I imagine Thea will probably take on JC at one of the Spring Breaking nights with zero interference or something like that. So we shall see what happens. But Paxley gets the win. We got Paxley with the win. And right afterwards, immediately, she is attacked by a titleless Lyra. But Lord, this Lyra is aggressive and looks so much more ready for a confrontation, more than what she was with some of the ones when she was champion. And that's just my personal opinion. Like, I just think that this aggressive version of Lyra seeking revenge is more fun to watch than an overly confident one, if that makes more sense. I don't know. It feels like she's still got something to prove here. And I like that. So we're moving on. We got AOP versus Malik Blade and Idris and Nofe. My guys, I like Malik the Freak. I like Idris. I love those guys. I knew going into this match basically what they were doing, which is trying to set up AOP as the next main roster powerhouse to come to NXT as a tag team and challenge whoever our champions are. Obviously, Malik and Idris look fantastic every time they step foot in those ropes. AOP came out with Scarlett and Karrion Kross and their manager, and they were there in full force. And I think that raises the question of, are they here to stay? Is the draft going to bring more of those teams over to NXT? Is the draft going to bring any of those main roster superstars to NXT in general? Because we haven't really been explained to if NXT is going to have any draft picks at all, if they're going to be able to trade, if they're going to be able to make any offers to anybody at all. So AOP being there and now being involved in the tag title picture really raises a lot of those questions. But like I said, to be expected, AOP wins the match, but interrupted obviously at the end by the tag team champions Nathan Frazier and Axiom. So I'm assuming now AOP is the number one contender, so we're getting ready to get that match sooner than later. I hope they pull the trigger on actually having a main roster tag team win the belts, so that can just keep being a thing. Because nowadays it feels like we bring people up, hype them up, and then they just lose to whoever our NXT champions are, which is cool because you're putting them over essentially. But why not switch it up? Why not? Why not have a powerhouse in there for a little while? You know what I mean? But we got AOP winning. AOP wins our match. Moving on to big man versus big man. We got Ivar versus Briggs. Battle of the big men. Great hard-hitting fight with a lot of speed too, because man, those big guys can go, y'all. But the winner of this takes on Oba for the North American title. And since we already saw Briggs get his opportunity, Ivar winning this match, which he does, doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Also another main roster guy that they brought right to an NXT roster, put him right in a championship opportunity. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he can conquer this guy who literally seems like he just cannot be defeated. And I hope they keep it that way because Oba deserves to have that title for a very long time. Very, very long time. But, like I said, Ivar, new number one contender, walks away with the win against Briggs. And that leads us to Carmelo versus Trick Part 2. The end of the story in a steel cage. Super fitting. Love it. Give me more. Give me all the drama. Melo absolutely dominates the first part of this match against Trick and just makes Trick look like he's not prepared. He makes him look completely unprepared, completely not ready for anything that Melo has to offer. But the energy of the crowd, everybody being super involved with it and just really rooting for our guy, the biggest star in NXT right now, Trick Williams. You can tell he took that energy and he put it into the rest of the match because he dominates. He completely destroys Melo. He whoops that Melo. Melo got whooped. And Trick walks away with the victory once again. That's 2-0, Trick versus Melo. After the match was over with, big standing ovation for Carmelo. Big, loud, heavy, thank you, Melo chants. We're not sure if this is the last time we'll see you at NXT. But if it is, thank you, Carmelo Hayes. Thank you so much. Thank you for every run you had. North American title, NXT champion. Every single thing you touched, you turned to gold, and you truly didn't miss, my friend. You really, really didn't miss. Even when you turned heel and we booed you, we still loved you, man. So thank you, Carmelo. If this was really your last match in NXT, last time we see you on a Tuesday, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Carmelo Hayes. We appreciate you. But now, Trick Williams, you know what time it is. You know exactly what time it is. It's time to lock in because next week, this coming up Tuesday at Spring Breaking Night 1, is Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. And let me tell you, I think this is it. I think this is the night that it happens. You're hearing me say it now. Trick Williams is our next NXT champion. That's our guy. He's running the show. He's our head honcho. He ain't going nowhere. Not no draft, no nothing, baby. We're Team Trick Williams over here, and that's how it's going to be. It's written in the stars for that man. Forget a Dave Meltzer. Forget a Carmelo. Forget anybody that's got anything negative to say about Trick. Trick, it's you, man. It's all you. This is your time to shine. Spring Breaking Night 1. I'm calling it now. Trick Williams walks away with that championship. Period. That's it. That's all she wrote. The card for Spring Breaking Night 1 is insane, y'all, and I'm really, really excited to bring that to you next week. Also, that WrestleMania video is still coming. I know I said the next time you would hear from me, it would be that video. I'm getting ready to move. I got a lot of things going on right now, so it's just it's a long video. A little bit longer than I intended, with a lot of my own videos included and sound bites included. So it's just taking a little bit of time to edit, but I promise you it's coming. I promise you it's coming. But yo, thank you guys so much for listening again to NXT with Najee. Please, please, please give me your comments below. Let me know if you think Trick Williams is winning that NXT title on Tuesday. Let me know. I want to know if you guys are on the same train I'm on, because I'm there. You can't get me out of it. Trick Williams is our next champion. This is NXT with Najee, a part of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe. Share with your friends. It's been real this week, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.